this is Bonita Jenkins from JenkinsHelps.org, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a video that was recorded a while back of me and my husband for the Relationship Mastery Series by Dave Bernstein and Christy Lee. It is an amazing company that they have, and it's all revolving around family and love and just bringing couples together. So they wanted to come out and interview our little family, which I thought was just the best. I got a real kick out of having them there and sharing our little love story with them, which isn't quite a love story. You'll see in a second. So I hope you guys enjoy the video, and don't forget to Google Dave Bernstein and Christy Lee. They're doing some great stuff with their site, and what they're doing to try to bring couples together, I think is fantastic. And while you're on Google, go ahead and go to JenkinsHelps.org and check me out, read the blog posts that I have there, and YouTube me. Just type in Bonita Jenkins. Bonita Jenkins, it should come right up, but just scroll down a little if you have to, but you should find me. Go ahead and subscribe there, like the videos, leave comments. I love reading those. I'll get right back to you. Until next time, you guys have a great day and be blessed.
Well, we're sitting here today with Gary and Bonita Jenkins. I'm so excited to be talking with you because I've been dying to get into your mind, Gary, for a while. Gary and I have been friends. We've been colleagues for about 5 years. And the minute that I met his beautiful wife, Bonita, I knew that they had something special. And I wanted to make sure that we shared this with the world about what made these two so unstoppable. So first of all, I want to hear the love story. How did you guys meet? How did you end up into each other's lives?
Ladies first.
Good question.
Ladies first.
Okay, good. It's good that he's letting me go first because my version is the right version. Whatever he tells you is a little suspect. So we met in business, and we were friends for a while. For a really long while, we were friends.
Yep.
I expected to be friends forever. As a matter of fact, we were such good friends that I consider him my brother. You know, he was like my play brother. I would call him and talk to him all through the night while he was at work and stuff, but as a brother.
Sure.
And I wanted nothing more than that. And one day I remember he told me that he was engaged, and I was like, "You're engaged? I've never heard her voice. I've never, like, who is this woman, this mystery woman?" And so they had been engaged for how long? I don't know, a long time.
5 years.
5 years, right?
5 years.
And then somehow that fell apart. And the first thing that he said to me after they, broke up, he said, "I'm going to find me a woman that's in business with me." And I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm in business with him. I'm like, I need to hook him up with somebody because I don't want him to think that's me, right?
And she did. She tried to throw every person my way. Every friend that she had in business.
And they were cute.
Hey, here you go. You can talk to her. Here's her number.
Yeah, first of all, nothing's more attractive than telling a woman that you're engaged. So that's a great pickup line. That's wonderful. So, but go ahead.
So the funny thing, he wasn't trying to hit on me at the time. But
I was respectful. That's right.
Yeah,
Sure.
he was engaged, and he was engaged, so that was cool. But I wanted it to stay that way. So I'm like, oh man, I hope he's not thinking of me. And sure enough, all the relationships I tried to matchmake didn't work out, unfortunately. So
Fortunately, you mean?
all right, fortunately now, but back then it was 100%. Yeah, fortunate now. We're married, we got babies, but back then it was awkward. So there came up a business meeting to study small business, and I wanted to do that because I wanted to help business owners and things like that. So I was really excited about it. I said, I want to go do that. And he said, me too. Now I found out years later that he didn't even care. He didn't even want to, go to that class. He just wanted to go with me. So he offered to drive and everything. He knows I don't like to drive. I was like, oh, this is perfect. We could just ride together. He's like, yeah. So we went to lunch. When we were out there, we went to lunch, and then he asked me out after lunch because it was just me and him. And I remember just sitting there like, what do I say?
No, you said you don't. You said you want to date me.
Oh,
you just said that.
I did say that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah. And I think he thought that was like a good thing. He's like, yeah, I want to date you if you want to date me. And I was like, and I didn't give him a response. But then I called him the next day, and I just said, you're like a brother to me. I love you. I think you're adorable. You're cute, but I can't see it. So how do we get from there to here? It's a longer story. So to make a long story short, there was some periods in between that he did some things. We met up in Vegas one time, And he did some things that I thought were like really controlling, and we weren't even together.
Like what?
We weren't even together. We were on the strip. We were on a business meeting though. Like I'm not a drinker. I'm not a gambler. We were just there for business. And I remember there were some other men, and we weren't together. There were some other men that were training us on some things while we were on the strip, and they were giving us some advice. And I remember him like putting his arm around me. I'm like, we're not even together. What are you doing, right? And there was this booster that came up trying to sell us stuff, and I said, "Oh no, sweetie, we're okay. We don't need any, whatever you're selling." He says, "Don't call another man sweetie in front of me." Who are you? We're not even together. So I'm like, if this is a snapshot into the future, I don't know if I even want to get involved with this. And it's funny because at that very moment, I was considering giving him a shot. And he just shot it down.
And he blew it.
He blew it at that
He
moment.
blew it.
Oh,
Well,
okay,
she said
no,
she
I'm
missed
good.
it.
Yeah.
I did. I
She
told him I missed it. Wrong thing to tell this guy. I miss you translated into we're in a relationship. You know?
Sure. So what
It was
melted?
crazy.
I mean, how did he melt your heart?
So, mind games. So this is what he did. This is what he did. So after that incident, I had my cousin. I have a cousin that is his friend as well, and I had my cousin call him because I couldn't even look at him in the face. I didn't want to talk to him. I was so embarrassed, and I told her to tell him that I was really embarrassed, and I just wanted to be friends and nothing more. And he decided that we weren't going to be anything. We weren't going to be friends. We weren't going to be anything. Like, he just stopped talking to me, like, completely. And so my feelings was hurt because I talked to him every day. We were like brother and sister. My mom, brother and sister. So I was so hurt. And I remember just calling him. It was 2 weeks into him not talking to me. He had a party and didn't invite me over and everything. It was a long time.
I don't think it was 2
It felt
weeks.
like 2 weeks to me. So maybe it was 3 days. I don't know. It felt like 2 weeks. So I called him up and I said, "Hey, you can't just cut me off like that. We're friends. You're supposed to talk to me, and that's not right." And then he said, "Okay." And then he just, he started talking to me after that. But somewhere along the line, I started to like him, and I think it's because of all the mind games he played around me. Let me tell you some more. Would you like to hear some more of the mind games?
Sure, I'd love to. Yeah.
So I had cousins, I had my mom, I had my best friends, and everyone. For some reason, in this 1 week, they were all coming up to me. "You know what? You know who you should go out with? Gary Jenkins. I think he would be a great guy for you." "What in the world?" My mom, "You know who really likes you? Gary. He would be great for you." "What in the world?" My best friend, "You know what? I really think Gary loves you. I think that you guys could have a life."
So he came with references.
What in the world?
basically, right? Okay.
So he had been, unbeknownst to me, he had been calling my family, meeting with them, talking to them, trying to get them to soften me up, and it was working. It was crazy. I remember I brought a date when I told him I wasn't dating anybody, so this is pretty bad. My family every year would go to Great America. We don't know that here, do we? Well, that's a place out in Chicago.
Just say Six Flags.
Midwest,
Six Flags, Great America, yeah.
Six Flags.
Every year my family would go, and I told him I didn't have a date. I told him that, I wasn't dating at the time, and I didn't invite him. This is the main thing. I did not invite him.
Right.
I brought a date. When I get there, guess who's there? This guy.
Gary Jenkins.
How did he get there? My mom invited him. What in the world? And my cousins. So why is this guy here? And I was so embarrassed because I had a date and I told him I wasn't dating. And he didn't even care. He just was like, "You look more than nice in that outfit." I'm like, "You are bold." What is wrong with you?
He was just persistent.
No.
He didn't have a chance. I know he did.
He was persistent and consistent, and he just went after it like, a dog that hadn't eaten in 5 years or something, and there was a bone right there. But eventually it worked, broke me down. And I remember the first time that I got excited about him in that way. He was over my house. We were watching this motivational film on TV, and, a lot of my friends were there. And I was just laying across the couch, and he did something like this, like simple, like just touched my hand like that. And I was like, "I'll be right back." Went to the kitchen. I was like, "Come on." I called my cousin. "We're going to the kitchen." She's like, "Okay." I'm like, I don't know what just happened, but I felt sparks when Gary touched my hand. That's weird. She's like, "Yay!" Because she was rooting for him for the longest.
I think it's adorable that the two of you were snugly up on the couch watching a motivational video, not like a romance
Well, it wasn't
movie.
snuggled up. She was on the couch. I was sitting
okay.
on a chair like somewhere.
Yeah,
by myself,
I was laying on the couch. I took the whole couch, and he was. No, I was on the chair. He was on. I don't know. Somebody was on the couch. Someone.
We
was
had
on
a bunch
the
of
chair.
people. It was a bunch
It was
of
a
people
lot.
there.
It wasn't
Yeah.
just us. And we weren't snuggled.
Yeah.
We weren't even dating.
But it was that moment, that night,
Yeah.
you felt sparks for the first time.
Yeah.
And you still feel those sparks right now.
I do. They're
More-
stronger. They're like fireworks now.
I like that. That's great. I mean, what is it about Gary that you love the most?
His personality. He's funny. And I noticed that he loves people. He loves helping people. So he's just a sweet guy. Just has a good heart, and that's why.
It's the same thing I love about him as
funny.
a friend. That's awesome. What do you love most about her?
Hilarious.
Everything from
Three
from
words.
her personality.
You got 3 words to describe her. How would you describe her?
3 words.
3 words.
Amazingly beautiful person.
Aw, I'll take it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, you've got a whole family now. You've got some beautiful girls. You got a baby boy on the way. At the shooting of this video right now. I mean, you keep growing your family and you keep growing your relationship. I mean, what is it about? I mean, the two of you obviously have something that is beyond just a connection. You have something that is, it's almost indescribable in words. And I've seen it myself. The 5 years that I've known you, I've seen it, and I've watched some of the girls grow up, and I've watched you grow up as a family. And you're not just a great entertainer, you're a great father, you're a great husband. You do, just like she says, you care about other people. And I see you watching the girls while he's doing his thing on stage, and you have such a strong presence as a mother, as a woman. And it's just something magical about the two of you. What do you think it is that keeps the two of you stronger than ever? And how do you deal with adversity? I mean, what about arguments? Do you ever disagree about anything?
Ooh, it's getting juicy.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
One of the things that we communicate.
Yeah.
That's really the biggest thing. You know, whether it's communicating loudly or communicating softly, we communicate. But I think really what it is mutual respect for each other, and our faith in God, and our church life and prayer life, and all of that really is what keeps us going. Because there's been times when we've had arguments, but one of the things we don't do is we don't go to sleep mad at each other. We discuss that.
Yeah, I firmly believe in that. Never ever go to sleep mad.
Yeah.
Anything that you can fix tomorrow, you can fix today.
Yeah.
And that's a good lesson. So, what do you think it is, Modena?
I agree with everything that he just said, actually. And we talk, we work things out, we apologize. I'm not afraid to apologize. Nobody's ego is too big to apologize, And even when it's hard, you just suck it up and say, I'm sorry. And you mean it, you know?
Sure.
And I don't like to hurt his feelings. He doesn't like to hurt my feelings, even though it happens sometimes. It's
Sure.
not what we plan to do.
Right.
And we know that we have each other's backs, So that's important.
And one of the biggest things too, and I really wish other couples would pick up on this, is the fact that sometimes you don't know you're hurting the other person's feelings if that person never brings it up.
Right.
So you can continue to do things that you don't know is hurting that person's feelings until that person says something. And then because they're not bringing it up, it just festers and builds and builds, and finally they do that thing one last time and they just explode, from not saying something before. So that's one thing I told her, is like, if I'm ever upsetting you, just let me know what it is I'm doing so I can stop.
And I do.
Yeah. Do you feel like your communication skills, are better than ever right now? Do you think? Are you always? Is there
We're
anything?
talking.
Yeah. Always.
We're talking good.
What do you-
We're talking a lot. Yeah.
What are you continuously working on? Is there anything that that you continuously work on that that you feel like maybe a lot of couples out there, they don't work hard enough on certain aspects of a relationship, and it's maybe what do you think it is that breaks couples up? What do you think?
There's so many different things. There's way too many things to even name. It could be from finances. It could be from lack of communication. It could be from past experiences, life, family that they're involved with. I've seen individuals where you're married, but you're not listening to each other. You're listening to what your parents are telling you to do, or you're listening to what your sister is telling you to do, as opposed to the person that you married.
Right.
And that can drive a wedge between individuals and couples.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
That's very true.
Relationships are definitely tough. One of the things that Christy and I are consistently doing is telling people how to communicate better. Showing them that they need to not just plan their present, but plan their future and accept their past as well too, and make sure that they realize that just because you've been in bad situations in the past doesn't mean that that's going to be a bad situation in the future. Everybody is always a work in progress, and the couples that stay together for the longest, they understand that it's a journey. It's not necessarily, just points in time, but it's a journey side by side.
Right.
Do you two have any dreams that you've been sharing for years that you want to see achieved? It can be maybe a place you want to go, financial dreams, obviously a dream of having another child. You're realizing that right now.
Yay.
Didn't even know it was a dream. But
didn't even know it was a dream, right?
No,
Yeah.
we just woke up into that reality one day.
Sure, yeah. So,
But I mean, we're always looking for financial stability for our family. That's why we do what we do in our business, and I work so hard. Being able to work as hard as I do in everything that I do to be able to keep her at home, raising the kids around her schedule. That's been one of the biggest things ever, I think. But yeah, we want to be able to spend time with each other, spend time with the family, take that time off, and at some point in time retire myself from corporate America, so we can have even more time with each other, even though sometimes I get on her nerves.
Yeah. Any dreams that you've?
Oh yeah, I have a whole board about them.
Name one of them.
Jamaica. I haven't been out. He's been out of the country.
Sure.
I've never been out of the country, so I want a passport. I don't have a passport yet. He has a passport. I don't have a passport, but I want to get one, and I want to go out of the country, and I want to see different parts of the world. But it's really important for me I want to take my kids too. And he's like, let's just go together. So I'm like, okay, I want to bring the kids. So
you definitely should bring them. I've seen the videos of the kids, singing in the car before. And that's one of my favorite videos of all time.
Right,
So
and the
that's
kids want to go
fantastic.
too,
Yeah.
especially if we're only going to go once to this one place. I want them to be there. So, that's a challenge, but I definitely also want private time with him. So maybe we gotta go twice, just have to do Jamaica 2 times.
You can do that.
Duh.
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
That's
we'll go
perfect.
first and then we'll bring the kids next time.
Well, we got just a couple minutes left, and I just want to, first of all, thank you guys for being so candid and talking about your relationship, and most important, giving others advice as to how to keep their relationships strong. Do you have any last minute advice? Any advice that you can think of that couples, whether they be new couples, married couples, or maybe just even single people who are wanting to be in a relationship that they feel good about? What advice would you give to them?
The biggest thing is communication. That is the biggest thing. You have to know what each other wants. You have to know where each other has come from. You just have to communicate. That's the biggest thing, is being able to openly talk, openly share your feelings, and openly accept what the other person has to say.
That's true.
Without judgment, without fear of saying the wrong thing or anything. So
I guess I would talk to married couples
Sure.
and just say, stick it out, grow up, put on your big girl panties,
Right.
your big guy shoes, and just know that it's a relationship that is supposed to last for your entire life. Don't be a quitter. Things happen. You get in arguments, and you're supposed to just learn from them and move on. Divorce is not an option in our life. So I wish more couples would adopt that philosophy. If you make a vow to someone, you stick it through, and then we wouldn't have the divorce rates that we have nowadays. So just knowing that it's going to be a roller coaster going in, instead of thinking it's always going to go up. Roller coasters do come down, but then they go back up,
Sure.
They level out at some point, So just know that it's going to get better. Sometimes it gets worse, and then it gets better if you stick and stay, but it won't get better if you quit.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
Yeah, and I love roller coasters.
You love roller coasters?
Yeah, not so much in relationships sometimes,
Right.
but I will say this,
Hard
that
relationship.
it's sometimes it's the ride, not the destination. That's the most
Absolutely.
exciting.
I agree.
And so
I've been thinking about that question you asked about
Yeah.
the leading, or what we would think is the biggest cause of divorce.
sure. What do you
And
think it is?
What I feel it is, the biggest cause for divorce, marriage. Think about it. If people don't get married, you never have divorce.
There is no divorce. It's
I think he's joking.
one
He's laughing, but I'm just like,
100% of the people who have gotten divorced have been married.
They have been
so
married,
I will
exactly.
say that. So
Exactly.
it's a bulletproof statistic
argument
right there.
there.
And so
Just can't.
yeah, yet another
beat
reason
that.
why I adore this man and his wife so much, because of a great sense of
Funny.
humor. But you guys really are an inspiration to married people all over the place, and we wouldn't be sitting down with you if we didn't believe that. So thank you so much for talking with everybody today, and I look forward to celebrating a 25-year anniversary with you someday.
Thank you for
Me
making
too.
the long 25-mile-hour drive that you drove to get out here.
We, for those at home, I think that I don't know what state we're in right now, but he tells me it's Arizona, but it was definitely worth the trip to come on down here. So
Arizona.
we got
And all of our children were so nice to you and everything. You know,
Right.
this is worth it.
Well,
they're all sweet.
The money we gave them, it'll spend easily, so it'll be perfect. So anyway, I adore you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.